Is 2026 the right time to buy a home in Spring Hill, Florida? It might sound like a simple question, but it's a far from simple answer. But I am going to break down for you my opinions as a local real estate expert for the last 20 years and give you some pros and cons about buying a home in Spring Hill, Florida in 2026. Now, we all know that over the last few years, the real estate market in Florida has been kind of rocked a little bit. The inventory levels have been going up, prices have generally been declining, and we've seen less and less people moving into the state. So it's a little bit unpredictable and uncertain out there at the moment, and it has some people questioning whether it's the right time to buy a home or not in 2026. So I wanted to do a little bit of a deep dive into this as we head into the new year and give you my opinions. Hopefully it helps you make the right decision for you. Now, when we're considering if it's the right time or not, the first thing that we need to look at is home prices and what are they doing. Now, we already know that home prices rose about 55% locally during the pandemic boom, which made homes here pretty unaffordable compared to what they've been historically in the 20 years that I've been working here. However, since then, we have seen a slightly declining price market where in the last year to 18 months, home prices have declined about 7% in the Tampa Bay area, making the homes a little bit more affordable and bringing them back into line with where people would like them to be. Now, as we see a softer buyer demand, not just in Florida, but nationwide, we're expecting those home prices to continue to decline a little bit into 2026 as well, meaning that if you've been waiting for prices to come down, good news, it's already happened. Now, we're not likely to see the 20, 30, 40% price declines that we saw in 2009, 2010, 2011. That was really born out of issues around lending practices at the time, which are no longer in place. But certainly home prices going down 7, 8, 9, 10% is no small number when you're looking at affordability. So all of that to say, if you are comparing home prices to the peak numbers of 2022, they are down about 7%. They could conceivably go down an extra 2 or 3% over the next 12 months. So price-wise, it's probably a good time to buy. What's likely to happen is as the interest rates start to creep lower and buyer demand continues to increase for Florida, we'll see those home prices go back to an average annual appreciation of around 4 or 5%, which we've seen historically, and you're going to be buying pretty close to the bottom, I would imagine, if you buy in the next 12 months. Now, the one caveat around all of this is that when you're buying a home in a declining market, if you're looking to sell it quickly, you might find yourself in a situation where you're underwater having to sell the home and pay the closing costs on the selling side. We have started to see a couple of issues where people who bought homes in 2022 are trying to sell them and they're finding out that their home is worth less than what they owe on their current mortgage. So I do want to give that warning, but seeing as most people stay in their home on average for 7 or 8 years, I don't see a situation without having that magic crystal ball where we're sat 7 or 8 years from here and homes are not worth more than they are today. Now, the second thing that we want to look at when determining whether it's a good time to buy, and it's the topic that's on everybody's lips at the moment, is the interest rate, of course. Now, the interest rates also saw a real shock moving from around about 2.5, 2.75% lows in 2020, 2021, up to about almost 8% a year or so ago. Now, as of today, interest rates are hovering around 6.25%, considerably higher than they were 4 or 5 years ago. And people are waiting for these interest rates to come down to make their homes more affordable. But there's two things to note here. The first one is that 6.25% historically is not a bad interest rate. In my opinion, it's very, very unlikely we're ever going to get back to the interest rates of 2.5, 2.75%. And be careful what you wish for, because if we do get that low again, it's likely because we're suffering severe economic conditions which determine that has to happen to inject money back into the economy. It's likely not going to be a good situation if we get that low, in my opinion. And then the other thing to note is that there are alternative options out there for getting interest rate buydowns. So we do know that builders are offering great incentives. I'll talk about those in just a minute. But you can also get the seller to contribute towards the buyer's closing costs, which that money can then be used to buy down the interest rate to make the payment more affordable. We've seen great success working with buyers to do this recently, and definitely make sure you speak to your real estate professional about that. As far as interest rate predictions go, most everything that I'm reading, and again, nobody has a crystal ball, indicates there's not likely to be any great shift in interest rates over the next 1 to 2 years. In fact, the predictions I'm seeing indicate that by the end of 2027, we should be hovering somewhere between 5.75 and 6% interest. So really only a quarter or a half a point less than where we are today. So again, if you're waiting for the interest rates to come down, it's likely to be a long wait. this might be a good opportunity to use those closing cost concessions to buy down the interest rate and try and beat the market that way. Now, if what I've said so far has you thinking about making that next step, or you have additional questions, be sure to reach out to me and my team. We've been selling homes here for 20 years. We're local real estate experts, and we love working with folks like you on the YouTube channel. You're my favorite people to work with. You can call us, text us, email us, the phone number's down below, or you can click the link to set up a Zoom. There's never a stupid question to ask, and there's never a time that's too early to start doing your research. So please be sure to reach out if you need anything. We'd love to help you guys. Now, the third thing we look at when determining whether it's a good time to buy is the inventory. Now, of course, if inventory is low and there are less homes for sale, that's normally conditions to see increasing prices. But we're at a level at the moment where homes are around about, if not a little bit higher than historical averages in the 20 years that I've been working in Spring Hill and Brooksville, Florida. So we're about just over 1,000 homes for sale in Hernando County, in the Hernando County MLS. What that means for a buyer is that there's more options out there. So again, when people were buying homes in 2021, basically had to make an offer on anything you saw because you knew there were going to be 15 offers on it by the end of the weekend. However, with the increase in inventory, there are about 4 times more homes for sale in the resale market now than there were in 2021. It allows buyers to slow down, be a little bit more discerning in what they're looking for, and have their pick of the litter when it comes to resale homes. And what that also doesn't account for is the significantly higher number of builder sales that there are compared to 4 or 5 years ago as well. So it's not just a matter of there being more resale homes on the market, there's a lot more new builds on the market, of course, as well. And that opens up a whole host of avenues for buyers looking for alternative ways to get into a new property. Now, since I mentioned new builds, let's talk a little bit about that, because if you're looking to buy a new home, then 2026 might be as good as it gets for you, because over the last 6 months or so in Spring Hill and Brooksville, Florida, we've seen builders go out of their way to make these homes enticing. And I'm not just talking about at the lower price points, I'm talking about all across the board. So 2 standout examples I can think of are, there's a local home community here where they're building homes on what's going to be a 3-acre lagoon. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. There are homes there starting less than $300,000, where if you use their preferred lender, they will do a 3-2-1 buy down. What does that mean for the buyer? Well, it means the first year of your mortgage will be 0.99% interest. The second year is 1.99%. Third year is 2.99%, and then the duration of the loan, the remaining 27 years, is at 3.99% interest. Now again, when you compare that to the industry average at the moment of 6.25, you can see the considerable savings that are able to be passed on to the buyers, where it makes it much more enticing. Then of course, new builds have all of the latest hurricane standards. There's going to be savings on homeowners insurance. Everything's brand new. You can choose some of your finishes sometimes, and it's all under warranty as well. It's really making it kind of a no-brainer situation for people to dip their feet into the real estate market here. But like I said, it's not just the lower priced homes where we're seeing those incentives. I have a customer looking for a luxury home in a high-end gated private golf course community where the home's going to be over $1 million, and the builder is offering currently $70,000 in incentives in the upgrade center for them, on top of some other incentives as well. So if you're looking for a new home in 2026 in Spring Hill and Brooksville, it's likely that the incentives are not going to get much better than they are today. Now, of course, again, we don't have a crystal ball, and we could be sat here looking at a situation where home builders are flexing their muscles a year from now if they're sitting on a lot of inventory. But how much better can it get than 0.99% and then 1.99, 2.99, 3.99 for the duration? It's hard to see where they go to make it even more enticing than that. And it's hard to see where they're going to be offering more or much more than $70,000 worth of incentives for people. Now, we're new home experts. You can watch all my videos on the channel for all of the local builders that I visited, and be sure to reach out to us for the latest incentives. We're talking to them weekly. We love working with the builders. They're awesome partners of ours, and we cannot wait to show you some of those homes if you want to see them. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. I just want to take a couple of seconds to ask you to please like this video. Be sure to comment down below and let me know if 2026 might be the year that you're looking to make a move, or if you're all set where you're at. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, that way you'll get notified of all the new videos that I release about Spring Hill, Brooksville, and all the surrounding suburbs. And finally, be sure to check out the playlist for more videos about the local area. Let's get back into the video. Now, the final thing I want to talk about when determining whether 2026 is a good year to buy in Spring Hill and Brooksville is the resale market. Of course, that's where we spend most of our time and attention. And with my background in accounting, I'm really keen on following market trends and looking at the data. And what we're seeing is interesting in that regard. And there are a lot of opportunities for buyers in the resale side of things. And I just want to give you some numbers which kind of highlight that right now. Now, back in 2021, we were seeing homes on average selling for 104% of the list price, meaning that if the house was listed at 200,000, it would sell for 208. 4% above asking price. But as the inventory has increased, as the interest rates have risen, and as the buyer demand has decreased slightly, so the conditions have changed as well. So what we're seeing currently at the moment is from the time a property is listed to the time it eventually sells, there is about an almost 9% difference in that pricing. So what that means is on a $300,000 house, you're likely to see it sell for about $27,000 less than the original listing price. Now, there's a number of ways this can benefit the buyer and make it a great time to buy. The first one is you can just simply take that money off the purchase. If you're paying cash, cash is king. You're likely to get a bigger discount than if someone is financing, and you can find some really great deals out there, particularly if you're looking at properties that have been on the market for 90 days or more. But even if you're financing, there's a couple of ways you can take advantage of it here as well. Again, you can offer a lower price for the property to bring that price down, give you more equity in the property from day one, and of course, buying a home at a lower price will reduce your monthly payments. However, it will not reduce your monthly payments as much as using the money to buy down the interest rate. So let me give you an example. Instead of asking for, say, $12,000 off of the purchase price, offer the same price but ask for $12,000 in closing cost concessions. Use that $12,000 in closing cost concessions to buy down the interest rate, and the difference in your monthly payment will be bigger than if you had reduced the price originally. Does that make sense? All you need to know is it's a great way for you to save money on your monthly payments and pay less interest over the course of a loan. And I've not seen as big a disparity between the list price and the sales price in this market since about 2010, 2011, 2012. So it's a really great time for buyers to take advantage of market conditions, of increased inventory, to get some great deals on resales, really find those little niches where you can take advantage of those conditions and get homes for less to give you more equity, or get that interest rate brought down and make the payments lower. So all of that to say, is 2026 a good time to buy a house in Spring Hill or Brooksville? In my opinion, yes. Now, of course, I'm going to be biased, aren't I? I am a real estate agent, but don't forget I did give you the con about a declining market where you could potentially find yourself upside down in a property if you want to sell the property within the next couple of years. And of course, none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know if the incentives are going to get better. We don't know if the market's going to crash or if prices are going to continue going down for years and years on end. All we do know is historically that doesn't tend to be the case. So if you want to know how all of this affects your ability to purchase a home in Spring Hill or Brooksville, or you want to talk about it more, like I said, reach out to us down below here. You've got the phone number. You can call, text, email us, set up a Zoom. We would love working with folks like you. Yet again, we're real estate nerds here on the team and local experts. Be sure to check out the playlist for other information about local real estate and communities and home tours. Until next time, I'm Ross Hardy from the Hardy team. It's time to love where you live.